Stephanie rolled in today. Producer Stephanie rolled in today with a Taylor Swift shirt on. I think that's an Eras shirt, is it not?
It's an Eras tour
Yeah,
shirt.
because she knew. She knew that would be the first, and it's not the only story, but it's the main story. Because Taylor Swift, love it or hate it, and I actually happen to think it's great, is the main character. And she can grab headlines, and we're in the, what do they call it? The attention economy, Jax. The attention economy. If I can hold your attention.
Yeah.
That's the economy we're in now.
Yeah.
Jax has been in the past, and before we get in this album, whatever, Jax has been hot and cold on Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, no, more tepid and cold.
Mm.
That you're suspicious, I think.
You know what I was thinking earlier?
I've met Taylor, so I am not suspicious. I think she's legitimately that person.
I think I'm disappointed.
You're disappointed?
I think I'm not a hater.
What? I
think I'm disappointed because I do think that she has the ingredients to be that person. I've said it before. I think that she has fantastic songs, style, Out of the Woods, like some huge tracks. But her album Runway for me ran out about 8 years ago.
Okay.
And since then, I think she's bored me to tears.
Now,
and Stephanie's looking at me with like evil eyes, and I'm not doing it just to piss you off. I have gone into the portal. I've listened to a lot of new album. Even fans, massive fans of Taylor Swift are like, what is this?
so let me just read the headlines. And we've seen all the TikToks, but I got to read the headlines first. Let me set up the story. Stephanie's readjusting her shirt again. Just wants everybody to see that Taylor's on there like 13 different times.
Yeah.
Okay. From the Globe and Mail, these are just the headlines.
Mm-hmm.
Taylor Swift's Life of a Showgirl is a fizzy, earworming, and, well, not great work.
Yeah.
The Atlantic. Okay, I'm trying to get good publications,
And
right?
Atlantic is like, they don't gloss. Like
No.
they're not there to
Taylor
hype you up.
Swift's fairy tale is over. The
Mhm.
Guardian. Taylor Swift, The Life of a Showgirl review. Dull razzle-dazzle from a star who seems frazzled. Gotta love the Brits.
Ooh.
From the LA Times. What do they know about entertainment?
Yeah.
Taylor Swift's The Life of a Showgirl is an immaculate act of damage control. The New Yorker. Why does Taylor Swift think she's cursed?
God bless the New
Which I
Yorker.
think is funny because honestly, there could not be a more charmed person on planet Earth. Here's the sub headline of the New Yorker. The Life of a Showgirl, the artist's new album, is full of cringy sexual innuendo, millennial perfectionism, and an obsession with her haters that wears thin.
Yes.
And Style Magazine Australia. And I like this one just because this little paragraph is just, because we got the Taylor Swift fan side, and then we got the other side. Nothing stood out to me. This is from a Taylor Swift fan. On first listen, the songs were okay. They're easy to listen to. They're easy to digest, but they lacked the spark I was craving.
Yes, substance.
That addictive quality where you can't stop singing a chorus or replaying a bridge or obsessing over a particularly well-written lyric. For an artist whose discography is filled with undeniable hooks and sharp, devastating good lyricism, The Life of a Showgirl missed the mark. So, with all that said, and there are lots of critics saying lots of things. Steph already hates me for even reading those out loud.
Mm-hmm. But these are massive publications.
Right. I feel like we're at a presidential debate here.
Yeah,
We got, I'm not going to say which one's the Republicans, which one's the Democrats. But I do want to ask you guys, do you think the criticisms warrant? First off, we've listened, right? We've listened?
Yeah.
We've listened.
Yes.
Stephanie, I don't even need to ask. I know she has. Stephanie, were you let down at all by this album? That's the question. Based on the benchmark of her previous work, which is pretty spectacular.
No.
Interesting.
So I listened to the album at midnight when it came out in my bed with my AirPods on.
I love that.
And I didn't look at any internet reaction. I was just texting my friends. We were listening to it at the same time, giving each other our reactions. My initial thought was, this is fantastic. The Fate of Ophelia, incredible single. I think it's a good first single from that album. It's catchy.
What do we think of Canceled? Do we like Canceled?
Canceled's probably my least favorite song on the album.
Okay.
I would say. Do I think it's a bad song? No, but I think it's just probably one of my least favorite.
Forgettable for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But just going through the songs, like Opalite is such a banger. It's a catchy beat. It's all over social media now. It's like I would say it's probably eventually going to be like the new Cruel Summer is the vibe I'm getting.
Okay. Oh.
Father figure, incredible.
Mm-hmm.
And then it goes on. I think Wood, despite the content of...
Is that about Travis
Yeah.
Kelce's Redwood?
Yeah.
which a lot of people are, you know, rolling their eyes at. I think it's an incredibly catchy song. If Sabrina Carpenter put that out, everybody would be eating it up. Like,
Well, I think
you know what I
so,
mean?
so that's a good point. Let's start there. There is a little bit of Sabrina Carpenter in this album, and I think they toured together, and I think they're friends.
Mm-hmm.
But my question is she leaning into that because, well, first off, she's never really gone there. Her music's been pretty...
She has.
She's not like overly sexual, though.
She has a little bit in certain songs.
Yeah?
And that's the thing. They're just not mainstream hits. Like her fans know.
Yeah,
Okay. All right. Now, so is the thing about Sabrina Carpenter
Is she's
that I find
26 and
interesting-
Taylor's 35.
No, it's
No,
not that.
that is no,
So
that
what?
isn't.
It isn't that, though.
Because I think that's where I want to give you, because you look like you, and I know the Swifties, they are so strong.
I love a debate.
And I'm
I
so
love a
scared of
debate.
them. Here's the thing, though. It's not like I'm like, it's trash. It's that I wanted more from Taylor. And I think that she is tremendously capable. I've watched all of her like actual documentaries, and I think that she's a rare songwriter. So write some songs. Write the songs that you like. This, it just feels like a letdown. I feel like she's holding on to this like 2017 or 2016 version of herself. And I think it's beautiful to grow and to change and to evolve. And she's almost there and is unwilling to do so. Like this just feels like an outdated version of her that she thinks she needs, like the girl drama, like the pettiness.
Well, hold on.
like,
We're coming to that.
right.
We're
But
coming
like,
to that.
like I just feel, it feels like, like a 10 year ago version of somebody who's making the act to grow up, but not actually growing up.
So on the Sabrina Carpenter thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So, okay, fine. Taylor's had that in her albums. And I'll be honest, I will never dive as deep
And
into
I
a
don't
Taylor
think she
Swift
was
album as
allowed
you
to kind of
have.
go to that level before. She would have got torn apart for talking about sex.
For sure. So,
Yeah.
but okay, that's great. And you know, he's got a great package down there. Nobody's really surprised. Some guys have all the luck. That's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Good for you. I want to know, does this album fit the life of a showgirl pictures? Does it fit the marketing campaign behind it? And with Sabrina Carpenter being extremely successful, and you mentioned that stuff, like she, you know, it's like all this innuendo music or whatever, and that has a time limit, right? You can only do that for so long. Is Taylor Swift leaning into that because she can do more of it, hasn't done a lot of it, or is it because it's kind of popular right now and people are responding to it, so why not go that way?
It's probably a mix of both.
Okay.
I would say. And here's the thing. Taylor, her entire discography mostly is breakup songs. She's gone through a lot of breakups. She's finally in love. She's happy. She's engaged. She's never really been at a point in her life, at this point, being this in love and this like sure that this is the one, to write an album feeling that way. Arguably, she could have taken that with Lover, with Joe, but looking back on those songs, it seems more of a hopeful love story rather than this album just being like celebrated for her to just make happy pop. So many people just make happy, sexy pop and they don't get criticized. When she put out Tortured Poets Department, whatever that was, people were mad because it was too wordy and too soft.
It was.
And
I
you
like
know
that side of her. I absolutely
so
like
did
that
I.
side of her. Yeah.
But this is what I mean. Everybody always has a criticism against her and her songwriting, even though
Yeah.
she's one of the only people who actually writes her own music. And I think it's fine if she has an album that's just fun and light and she's just exploring her new love life.
Mm-hmm.
But that's maybe my worry, is that I don't feel like it's fun and light. I feel like she's scared to go away and actually be fun and light. I think that if she's just gone, you know, on eras, like she is in love. She's doing all of these wonderful things in her life. She has every reason in the world to just take a break and enjoy it. And because she usually is a reactor when it comes to writing, she's reacting and then writing, and it usually is a quick turnaround. Maybe that's why I find it hard to believe that her love has as much depth as it does, is because usually, you know, when somebody posts on Facebook that they're in a new relationship too quick, maybe that's what it feels like. And I'm like,
Yeah, that's
I
fair.
want to feel like she is having so much fun. And these are all awesome love songs, but I find it hard to believe because they also there's a campaign right now behind it. And it actually makes me very sad because I think she's scared to go away. And I don't think she realizes that there's no world in which she will be ever irrelevant. It's actually for the best that she maybe takes a break for herself.
So I want to come back to that point, but I want to go to one of the major things that sort of broke over the weekend.
Yeah.
And, here's the deal. A year and a half ago, Charlie XCX had an unbelievable summer. It was Brad Summer, everybody knew.
Yes.
She had that Sweat tour. It was incredible, right? She puts on a devastating live show. It's so good. And at the same time, Taylor Swift is taking the biggest tour ever around the world. Literally, they said, saving North America from a recession.
It did.
Because every city she went to, there was such a capitalist pop that it stimulated the economy. So, Charlie XCX has her big moment. Taylor Swift's is 10x that financially because she's gotten to that point and had so many albums and grown up with her fans and all that stuff. Now, Actually Romantic is one of the songs on this album. And I'm going to read Taylor's lyrics first, and then I'm going to read Charlie's lyrics from Sympathy is a Knife, where apparently they're taking shots at each other. So we're kind of Tarantinoing this. We're working backwards, okay? So I heard you called me boring Barbie when the Cokes got you brave. High-fived my ex and then said you're glad he ghosted me. Wrote me a song saying it makes you sick to see my face. Some people might be offended, but it's actually sweet all the time you spent on me. Now, it's important to remember that Taylor, during the Eras tour, the very beginning, she was dating Maddie Healy from the 1975, and Charlie XCX is married to another member of that band. Yeah. So Taylor and Charlie would have spent some time together, and they have been together on stage before as well. In Sympathy is a Knife, Charlie says this: I don't want to share the space. I don't want to force a smile. This one girl taps my insecurities. Don't know if it's real or I'm spiraling. And then later in the track, she says, don't want to see her backstage at my boyfriend's show. Fingers crossed behind my back. I hope they break up real quick. So a lot of people took this as Taylor coming back a little too hard. That's Charlie XCX saying, man, you're so successful. I'm just insecure. I'm straight up insecure. And Taylor Swift going, you do coke and you think about me.
And I think you have a gay crush on me.
I would like to know, Stephanie, how that back and forth has landed with you.
I think it's interesting because I had no idea that
I didn't
there
either,
was
by the way.
beef
No
at all,
idea.
to be honest.
Yeah.
Because she opened up for the rep tour for Taylor, and I don't know, I never thought that there would be any beef.
She didn't really bring attention to it, right? Like she wasn't like...
Yeah.
And by the way, did you hear that did you go into a deep dive of the lyrics? Like some artists, when they put out diss tracks, are like,
right.
Well, I would dive deep into this one if I were you, fans.
Yeah.
Like
And I don't think Charlie's fans are as like,
I don't think
where
they
are
care.
the Easter eggs?
I
Kind of
think
like
they
Taylor
want
Swift
a party.
fans.
They just want a party in sunglasses.
However, I'm assuming obviously there's more to the story because Taylor's saying, I heard you call me boring Barbie. Obviously that's not in the song.
Yeah.
So clearly something happened behind the scenes that we don't know about. I'm assuming obviously it's about Maddie Healy and his bandmate, but I think there's more to the story that we don't know. Is it overplayed? All these like kind of diss tracks of like woman against woman?
Yeah.
For sure. Could be.
I mean, listen, I think we got to, one thing I want to say about that as a male.
Yeah,
you
tell
know,
us.
As a male, I got to step in here and break these chicks
girls,
up. You
I
know
got
what I'm
something
saying?
to say, yeah.
No, I want to say something about that. Dudes in hip hop especially take shots at each other all the time. I'm a big heavy metal fan outside of my pop music. Like they take shots at each other all the time in rock. Okay. I don't know. I know that women are constantly quote unquote divided against each other and all that stuff. And but women are also allowed to fight.
Yeah.
Women are also allowed to take cheap shots and be petty just like men are. So I do think
I was going to say the same thing.
when people say that, I'm like, yo, okay, that's great. Like I hear that in the Housewives all the time. You know, you should be supporting me because well, you're kind of an asshole.
Yeah.
Why am I supporting you if you're kind of an asshole? I don't care that you have a female-owned business. That's great for you, but you're kind of being a jerk to me right now, right?
Yeah.
Real Housewives of Salt Lake, you need to watch it. So, Jax, when you hear that as so Stephanie's point is there's got to be more to the story. Your point hearing that, and how does that land to you as somebody who's not as invested?
I don't care about the story. I just want to hear good music. Like and that's the thing is like it feels. I was just back in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia, where I grew up, and I was out with a bunch of girls that I went to high school with. And it was so nice to catch up with them, and we didn't really talk about high school. And then I realized that like we just talked about how things are going now and like what's going on. A couple of stories came up, but I just realized like, ooh, remember those high school dynamics from like 20 years ago? And that's what this makes me feel like. And it makes me feel like we're in systems that are probably really hard to break. You can't really get away sometimes from those dynamics of like, it's not like women shouldn't bully each other. It's like, why are women bullying each other? However,
why are people bullying each other?
Exactly. Why are
they
people?
all do.
Yeah. Why are people bullying each other?
I can answer that, but keep going.
I just, it bores me. It bores me. And I think, I just feel like the active, and nothing against Travis, but this feels really complacent maybe to me, of like the high school sweetie and like those girls hate me. And maybe I desire more substance from her that I'm aware she has. And I don't think she's accessing it right now.
So you feel like she's not giving you her best?
Yeah, I feel like she's playing it really safe. And whether or not she has every reason in the world to, I mean, that makes me sad. However, I think you have every reason in the world not to stay in that safe place. So like high school sweetie, vanilla, woo, kind of talk about sex, like Taylor, you can do better. And like that's said with love.
Let me say this. When Kanye West released that video of Taylor Swift saying it was okay that, he quote unquote have her naked in the song. And remember that music video that came out, and she's like, she tweeted, I would like to be excluded from this narrative. That it came out later that Kanye and Kim had concocted part of that video and had edited it and released it to TMZ. And then because the Kardashians are really hooked in with the TMZ people, right?
Yeah.
And so they released that video. It goes viral. Everybody's like, oh, Taylor looks like an idiot, blah, 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 blah. And she never came out to correct it until many, many years later when it was proven that it was edited. And I always respected her for that, because she was like, you know what? I'm going to do an album and I'm going to come back. And it was the Reputation album, right? And I wonder if Steph doesn't have a point here. And it's not because I'm not a Charlie XCX fan, but we are taking this story on its head, like totally surface, not being involved. And to talk about kind of a little bit what you talked about, Jax, so I do a lot of sports. I talk about a lot of sports, right? And one of the things that's true about most athletes is they're insane. If you've ever talked to a professional athlete, most of the time, the only thing they can talk about is the athletic thing that they're good at, because it's an obsession. And, I remember when I was talking to a guy named Brian Williams, who's an old sports reporter, brilliant man. And he said, there are so many parents out there that push their kids to go berserk at hockey, expecting them to be these, the next Wayne Gretzky. And he's like, here's the thing you need to know about Wayne Gretzky. He didn't need motivation.
Yeah.
He, on his own, would get up at 4:30 every weekday morning, go out to the backyard and shoot pucks for 2 hours, and then go to school and come back home and do it again. And the reason I bring you there is to bring you back here. These people who are artists, right? Charlie XCX, Taylor, anybody else you want to talk about? Olivia Rodrigo, who's been involved in some stuff with Taylor, and any other artist you want to mention. These are not only the most perfectionist type of people with it when it comes to their music, they are also the most competitive. So it doesn't surprise me that there would be a little bit of friction when people are in the same category. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, these are women pop stars. There are only so many spaces in people's heads, right? For a roster of people. There's only so many people who can be famous at once. And so you're constantly fighting to be famous. And who are you fighting? You're fighting the other people. You're fighting them for airplay. You're fighting them for TikTok views. You're fighting so it almost, the way that we have set up our world, and we can't really change it, it is the way it is, that kind of seems to me where a lot of this would come from. Like, I bet if you put these two in the same room and they talked it out, solved in an hour. I bet. You don't think?
I don't think that there actually is a problem. I think that I don't.
Do you think it's an overreaction on Taylor's part?
I think that you're not going to like the answer. I think that
give me the answer.
I don't think that it's. Yeah, I don't think that it's like this. Oh, look, Steph's got her mic ready.
She's ready.
I don't think that it's like taking the artist's way out. I think it's that nobody really noticed or cared when Charlie had written his song.
But Charlie's not as famous,
right? But I think that Taylor. This is a fantastic opportunity to get buzz going. And it always seems to be about the same things, men or conflict. And again, I think it's opportunistic. So I think she's like, I'm going to write a song and not be as vulnerable about why I'm writing it, not give you as many details. I don't think we know a lot about the story because Taylor's not going to tell us. She's going to write a vague song. like call somebody out for doing coke, not really give us any information. The only reason that we know that there was like, you know, some competition in there and like, you know, some jealousy and some insecurities because the other party told us. And I think that Taylor, like to her credit, likes to keep things vague and likes to make kind of like
There's mystery.
mysterious throws.
Except for Dear John. That was pretty on the nose.
Because we are sitting here in my house in Toronto, Ontario, talking about it. And I again go back to Taylor is afraid to go away. And I don't think she should be.
See, okay, now there, I'm going to step in again and I'm going to say, I think you have a point.
Yeah, I think she is.
And I'm going to, Steph, I want to know what you think about this because here's what I'm thinking. If this album is being poorly received, if it's well received by Taylor Swift fans, then that's enough, right?
Yeah.
Like there's so many of them that it really, for her album sales will be fine. She already said she's not going on tour. She has no desire to do that. Who can blame her? But I look at this and I go, this has been, how many albums since 2020 have we got? Plus, that's new music. Plus all the Taylor's versions before she was able to acquire her rights back, right? So I almost wonder sometimes it's like, it's like a workout. Like sometimes you're just tapped. You're tired.
And we saw it in, think about it. Like when we started doing the Virgin Radio Morning Show, when we used to do a show together here in radio in 2019, it has been a relentless cycle of Taylor. And we saw that also, Adam, with Ed Sheeran, and there was fatigue around it. Obviously not the same type
Ed goes
of
away
artist.
for 2 years, but his music never does.
No, and he never does, but then he comes back. But he did hit a point, and I think it was like 2021 maybe, where it was too much. And there was actual burnout happening. Like people were just like, shut up, Ed. God bless him. But
Brilliant
they were like, stop.
songwriter.
And I don't think anyone will ever be like, shut up, Taylor. But I think you're starting to hear the whispers of be quiet, Taylor. Like, because it's leaving a bad taste in people's mouths and it's not giving the album the service that it deserves.
Stephanie, do you think that it could be too much in a short period of time?
Well, I think she's absolutely insane for what she's put out
It is
since
insane.
2020. It's crazy.
No,
5
not
new
from
albums.
a performance level, from a like consumer level.
5 new albums.
Well, in general, all of it.
plus all the Taylor's version stuff, right?
Yeah.
And the tour.
Yeah. Like that's a lot for just your regular Joe. I can't even imagine how she feels. For a consumer level, I mean, I'll take a new Taylor album.
Can I say
And that's
something?
my point, right?
And that's the thing. Can I say something? Like everybody, like I have so many Swifties like between Instagram and then just like obviously everyone's For You page on TikTok. I hear a lot of like people defending Taylor's album because it's Taylor, not because of the actual album. And you heard like
I actually like the songs.
yeah, and no, I get that. But like you at first were like Taylor must be tired. It's not like. I don't know. I don't think people are able to separate it. I feel like it's not a cult at all, but people are like, she is Taylor and Taylor we trust. And she is, all of her songs are great. You know, like, and we love Taylor and she's happy and she's so tired because she's pushing.
Well, that's the thing though. If I listened to the album and it took me like 6 listens to get into it, like I would be honest and I would say that. Like it took me a
I
while.
trust that.
Yeah,
I
you
trust
would.
that.
But literally I listened to it twice when it came out at midnight.
Yeah.
And I was just messaging my friends and I'm like, I love it.
It shows
It's
you how
so
deep
great.
the brainwashing goes when you immediately like, I just suck at you.
Here's what I'll say.
I like that. You would tell us.
Here's what I'm feeling from this debate. And I'm glad we had it.
Yeah.
Because I think it's important to get somebody on the inside and somebody on the outside and talk about it. Because I am genuinely split. But what I do feel is that from the general public's point of view, there is a fatigue. You're going to see in your TikTok algorithm a lot of Taylor Swift fans going to the wall for this. And you're going to see a lot of anti-Taylor Swift fans or people who are like, I'm formerly a Taylor Swift fan and here's what I think and here's why it's bad. And I'm like, I don't know that you're a former Taylor Swift fan. You could be friggin' anybody. I don't know what you listen to. I'm just taking your word for it. I do think you do reach a fatigue level. Yeah. And I think that's why she's not doing a tour. And I also think, hey, I do think you've got a point, Jax. I think it's like, hey, it's okay to go away. Let people miss you. That's one of the best pieces of advice I've ever gotten was it's okay to let it breathe. It's okay to let people miss you. And when they don't miss you, they can't appreciate you properly, except for Taylor Swift fans who can.
Yeah.
The public at large, the general public beyond that is like, okay, enough. And I think people feel like I don't know if I can take another couple years of this person being the main headline.
Yeah.
And so can we step back and have somebody else take it for a bit? And then you can come, you're Taylor Swift, you're going to come back and take it anyway one day.
I also think it's probably like, it feels like an odd time landscape wise of the internet to be like, here I am again. And this is the happiest I've ever been. And I've like some of the TikToks that I'm seeing are like, this is a terrible time in US politics. And then like,
but is it her job to directly reflect that?
No, absolutely not. She is not. But I think she's going to see a lot of people not caring because they don't have the bandwidth to care. Like, if that makes sense, people like, because there's usually, it's divisive. I think that there's so much burnout right now from just digital anything that people are like, shut up, Taylor. And they could have been Taylor fans. They could have liked the song, but everyone's just like, shut up to anything. It could be Taylor or anybody who seems to be doing doing happy things or being well right now. It doesn't feel like the right tone. I don't want her to like go on a political agenda or anything like that, but I feel like she's going to have an extra mile to run right now because the road is hard in the States, and she's going to get some extra hate because it's an intolerable time to be bubblegummy right now. And I like, if I'm online, the last thing I want to see is like Taylor being like, "Don't worry, Redwood and I are safe and sound." And like, I don't know. She just seems extra in your face.
So that's your closing argument.
My closing argument is, I think she should go into the redwoods for a minute and take a long nap, and that's okay. And she deserves it.
We need folklore part 2. Is what you're hoping for.
I think we just need like
Woman of the Woods, Justin Timberlake.
I think we need no woman.
You just need to relax.
Yeah, and I think she does too.
Stef, your closing arguments. You got to defend the album because that is your job, and also I believe you believe it passionately. Right?
No, I do. I really, really enjoy the album. She's doing what she loves. She writes music for a living. That's her entire life. And I don't know. If I was her and I was doing music, obviously taking breaks is a great idea, but that's what she loves. That's what she's passionate about. That's the only thing she's ever known. We always say you kind of pause at the age that you became like really famous. And that could be true for her. She became really famous at like 17, 18. You know, she could still be in that mindset, which might be coming through from her songs.
Yep.
But either way, I really loved it. She took a 2-year break before Reputation, and every album since then, somebody has had something to say about how it's different from her last, and she's changed her sound. And I think there's always going to be that chatter around her. But as long as her main fans love it, then it doesn't really matter. And I love it. So